Watching events unfold in the Middle East has been devastating. But what's even worse is the predominant voices that we're hearing. Voices that place what's happening in two different boxes. The anti-imperialists who somehow decided that the Iranian regime and Hezbollah are not as bad as we think. And most of what is being said about them is exaggerated. For those people, I would say to you, of course there's been exaggeration. But if you are from the region and you've lived in the region, you know that they're not fully exaggerated. And you know that there's so much truth to what they're saying. So if you want to be anti-imperialist, how about you be anti-imperialist to everybody? Every entity that's interfering in these countries, that is pushing its own agenda in these countries. Because it's not what you think. And there's so much imperialistic undertones to it. Whether we like it or not, this is how it is. And for those of you who think or celebrate what the Americans are doing and inflicting damage on the Middle East, may I remind you, how did we get to where we're at right now? Think about the revolution in Iran. Why? Why was there a revolution? What was the role of the Western world in this revolution? A revolution, by the way, that was not an Islamic revolution. A revolution that included so many different groups of people, but then the Islamists won more power than the rest of the groups and jailed the rest of the groups. But why was there a revolution? Did we forget that getting to this point required so much on the part of the Western world and so much on the part of Iran and its proxies? We got here because of mistakes / who cares / decisions that were made for the benefit of the Americans. And on the other side, the benefits of a certain group of Iranians, certain groups of Arabs, and it ended up being a fight between these two throughout the region. And the population pays the price. So then the question is, why do we have to be one or the other? Why do we have to be anti-American or pro-West? Because we're anti the regime in Iran and its proxies. Why can't we be weary of both? Because history has taught us we need to be weary of both. Because unless and until we understand that complexity and we realize how they're all intertwined with each other and how we actually got to where we got to, we're doomed to maybe making the same mistakes over and over again. And it's not anti-Americanism, it's anti-interference that destabilizes the situation. And it's the anti-extremists that lead us to lives that are very difficult, lives that we did not want, and lives that imply that we have to deal with their imperialism, especially in the region. Maybe it's time for us in the region to stand up to both together at the same time and stop relying on one that feeds us with one hand and destroys us with the other.